I'm going to be discussing someone who I'm going to state the following about. It is a person who claims to do documentaries on subjects involving technology available in the 1960s. This is the claim, or the claim I'm making. I'm stuffing words in this person's mouth. That they're an expert, or that they should be able to critique science fiction movies done in the 1960s and claim that no, you didn't do that by going on location, you did it in the studio. Some of you already figured out which one this is. And you did it because of these specific technologies, and bringing up 5 of them. This person then claims that the first thing you should do if you're an expert in an area like that is not go to the specification sheet in a file that tells you what something really does, but look at the first page or so talking about what the advertiser wants you to read. Sometimes these are called page 1 deciders, or the budgeters that only read the advertisement. I'm stating my hypothesis here is that the person I'm discussing is incompetent to do your home movies. Should not be calling himself or herself a documentarian or anything, and should not be asking for money to get a free trip into space as soon as it's available, or demanding that people provide him with equipment, expensive equipment, to do something requested as a challenge, because this person is claiming that some on-location sci-fi movie wasn't done on location, it was done in a studio. Some of you are just giggling right now. I know you are. I'm going to go through the assertions from point 2 on, because this person gish galloped. I may make it part 2 with part 1 in it. Here's part 2 of the statement. I didn't ask you, WAPTEK, for any money, you liar. No, you sent me a list of things you wanted for Christmas, and Santa said no. Because the request, the demand, the statement, the assertion, the rules of this game are, if you're going to claim someone didn't do an on-location shot for doing their sci-fi movie, all you have to do, if you're claiming it was done in a studio, and this is the claim made by the general population that keeps making this claim, it was readily available technology and easily done, and instead of picking film, which has got established real protocols available, they chose to use the boogeyman of video technology being Uber technology in the 1960s. You know, like live radio broadcasts were so high-tech compared to recording. This is a live broadcast. At the scene, film at 11, and the assumption here is they had to do something weird with the video that's actually difficult to do right now, but is possible. My assertion in my video is, if you're going to prove that this on-location thing that's claimed to have been done live was done in a studio, all you have to do is reproduce the same results to the satisfaction of the majority of the population, really. And then you then have to critique it, this is my next requirement, the same way you critique the original work, and see if you can spot some defects, because your claim is you found defects. And then tell us how you did it, just like perpetual motion machine, and let us do the same thing and see if we can do a better job than you. But you can do technical stuff that can be done now, but you have to eventually do it the way you said it happened in the 1960s. All right? Reproduce the filming of Bigfoot. I've done it. I've been involved in that. You're not going to see it because nobody cared. Reproduce the JFK thing in a computer. I can do that, but it's really technically very difficult. Maybe someday I'll do it. That's another request I get. But no one's actually requested that I build a full-scale mock-up of that area in Dallas here in Portland, so that they can show up and film it and not say the following: I didn't ask you for money. No, you asked for one of the most expensive components in any freaking production possible, the equipment to do it. I am not lying. You're asking for free crap. The answer is no. Santa says no. And you're not even getting a piece of coal or a spanking, because I'm not into that. Stop stalking me. I said if you're willing to provide equipment required for faking the moon landing, and then you started listing price tags. No, this is bald-faced, obviously gimme stuff. You're a fucking child if you think I'm going to provide you with anything. I'm not going to tell you how to actually do the faking the moon landing. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, I actually do know how to do that. I'm not telling you. Because you're an idiot. Because you'll break stuff. Because you don't look at the spec sheet to find out that this device has a certain capacity, a certain speed, a voltage requirement. Did you look at the voltage requirement just in case maybe you don't know what you're talking about again? I'd be happy to fake it. That's what she said. Look, if you're going to fake the damn thing, fake it with current technology at the bare minimum and do a decent job. You're supposed to be able to do that. You claim, basically people claim that at the time of the moon landing, the technology we have now must have been available. That's the actual claim. Okay, then do it. You get crickets. You get people doing documentaries with $1 million budgets that don't do a good enough job. And I don't mean to some extraordinary requirement. They make basic mistakes. Actually reproduce the same thing. That's all. It's a cruddy recording. If any of you have actually seen the moonwalk thing fully, it's bordering on 2 hours. It's a full-length movie kind of thing. That would be like shooting a single take movie with any technology you can find. One take, feature-length movie. Okay? Maybe a couple of cuts. Okay, it's not impossible. But you, a person who's a documentarian claiming to know how to do this, you haven't done it. You've done everything but. Why? Because you can't. Until you do it, you can't do it. You don't know how to do it. It doesn't require $1 billion budget. It doesn't require $1 million budget. You could actually just explain how to do it. I can. I'm not going to. Because you have to provide me with the equipment to do it. See how that works? Why that's a stupid assertion? And here's my laundry list, and I want a particle accelerator. I want to reproduce the Ghostbusters movie, but do it for real. Give me a real particle accelerator I can fit on my back. A couple of terawatts out of work. Next. I don't even ask to get paid for my efforts. No, because you're a film freak, and this would be the payment. You get to be able to do the greatest sci-fi movie in history, because you'd prove something with it. It wouldn't just be a sci-fi movie. It would be sci-fact. You'd be famous. No, you're not asking for money. You're asking for fame, fortune, and all the equipment so that you don't have to buy the freaking truck. You want it catered? When you quote someone, you're not supposed to add your own fabricated statement to the equation or the quotation or anything. No, I just made the simple assumption everybody else can, and I told them look below in the description and tell me if I'm wrong. Nobody said I was wrong. You're asking for goodies. The answer is no. Compensation isn't just money. It can be property. If I can buy the equipment myself, I'd gladly demonstrate it. Then do it. Do it somehow. Part of it. The claim, again, is a feature-length recording was made live with video tricks that you will have a hard time finding anybody knowing how to do it. And I can do it in film, and I can technically do it in video. That's my claim. But I'm not backing it up until you give me the equipment too. Try to justify this. I dare you. Maybe I'll just stick around for 2 months and troll you. You won't know until the end, and you'll feel very dirty. Probing time. If you or anyone else wants to provide necessary equipment, that's fine. No one should provide you with anything because you're incompetent, because you don't read a spec sheet first. You read the advertisement screen on the front that says, can handle materials of any length, which is physically impossible. That's not real. Can record complete television programs or short commercials, and for some reason you think a short commercial is 30 seconds. They're not. On a device that explicitly said that it had a 30-second capability in the spec sheet, and that's it. And on its upgrade version, the number 200, that was the same piece of equipment with one extra add-on. It wasn't different. You didn't look at the spec sheet? Do you know the voltage rating and the current rating? Did you look up the frequency requirements? Maybe it's made for British electricity. Does it have a freak-out point where it gets a wrong frame rate? What does it do if it gets a wrong frame rate? Yeah, really. What if there's a video glitch where the cable interrupts? Does it freak out the recorder? It's a mechanical recorder. Do you know these answers? I don't have to ask, really. I know you don't know any of these things because you didn't look at the spec sheet. Why would you read the advertisement for a car and ignore whether or not it has 2 cylinders or 8? This is really, really basic stuff. If you were interviewing, you wouldn't be allowed to work on my projects. Yes, I've actually done a couple of projects. No, I don't have to prove them to you. Because to prove them to you, I need you to give me a bunch of free stuff. Emphasis added with a sledgehammer. There was one table with separate columns for each. Others did not. You didn't do your job. You're fired. The storage length was not specifically specified. Yes, it was. It told you, because you can look up the 2 PDFs I found, because on the first results, when you look up the device that's called the HS100 and the HS200, the first 2 things that come up are the spec sheets for each of them. No, I'm not kidding. You can look them up. It comes up on the spec sheet part for technicians. Earlier in the booklet was the blurb that it can handle any material of any length, short commercials, and blah, blah. Yeah. And you were told, look to the other part of it. S.G. Collins didn't point out that you're incompetent. I am. You are incompetent. In the same video, I showed another site written by people who used it that implied implication isn't as good as the damn spec sheet. Again, back page. Why didn't you look at the spec sheet first? Again, why would you be allowed to handle equipment? I wouldn't let you handle a lens cap at this point. No, I mean it. This is sad. And you keep pushing this. You're like that kid in school that failed the math test because he couldn't get 2 + 2 = 5. Anyway, let's just go on to some other meme. The fact remains, I only brought it up, material of any length, as a side note. And you said, very interesting. And then dropped it so everybody would make the assumption that it had unlimited recording ability. And you don't want someone pointing that out? No, no, no. This is the real world. The new XJ75 gets 100 miles to the gallon. If it's on a train going 100 miles and you don't turn on the engine. But that's on the back page. I don't want to even know what your car looks like. It's a Hugo, isn't it? Anyway. Seriously. I'm going to include the parts I'm talking about here. Okay. The process of feeding segments of video into a disc recorder and recording the slow-mo playback on tape. Have you actually looked into whether that can actually really be done? No, really. The fact remains, I only brought it up, material of any length, as a side note. No, you didn't. That was your main point. Everybody points that out to you. You're wrong. And you're being disingenuous or lying. I would say lying. The main point is that the topic was readily available option in slowing footage down for 30-second chunks. It's called a buffer. Error. Everyone who watches YouTube has dealt with buffers that are small. Small buffers cause problems during playback. Everyone on an intrinsic guttural level knows that you need a large buffer, not a small one. YouTube switched over from unlimited buffering by using your own hard drive to limited buffering because people were stealing videos without showing the views. So they disabled our ability to view videos by downloading them. And it didn't work. We just invented new downloaders. But they've stubbornly refused, like you, to allow for the buffering issue to be fixed. The main point is it's readily available option. No, it's not. It wasn't readily available. Why didn't you bring up the easy one? Have it Bitbucket, hundreds of them, to record a feature-length recording. You didn't bring that up. That would actually kind of sort of work. You could almost do it. Why don't you look up how long that would take? How much work it would be? How much space? Look it up. Can they be daisy-chained? Why I did grammar breakup. Why I spend 2 minutes and 9 seconds discussing a 30-second bucket option and only about 30-second discussion the material of any length blurb. Because you knew for a fact it had an upper limit of 30 seconds and you were trying to imply one thing and cover your butt on the other. Which is the reason everyone pointed it out, because you were obviously aware of this. You're implying one thing and saying another. It's called lying. You can try to twist it all you want, dear sir. The point of contention in the video has not been met. And my video has been ignored. I'm going to include just what I talked about in this video. I might do a second one. You're incompetent. Or you're lying. I would prefer to say you're lying because you can't be that damn stupid. I wouldn't let you touch equipment. Because you might, in a fit of rage, try to prove that bumbles bounce. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And please don't do this again. No one will hire you if they're a rational person.